Moving on now, let's shift our focus to India, where the second phase of voting began today. Almost 1 billion people are eligible to vote in the world's biggest election. Prime Minister Narendra Modi-led BJP is seeking a record third term on the back of economic records, welfare measures and national pride. It helps that Prime Minister Modi is also the most popular leader in India. Surveys say he will easily win a comfortable majority. Meanwhile, opposition parties that have come together for a mega alliance have been focused on promising more handouts and affirmative action. The hotly contested polls saw both Prime Minister Modi and his rivals focus on several hot-button issues. But in the lead-up to the second phase of voting, there was one issue that was perhaps overshadowed the others. It was around wealth redistribution and inheritance tax. On Wednesday, we told you all about the political slugfest that erupted after veteran Congress party leader Sam Pitroda suggested a US-style inheritance tax in India. Pitroda, who is based in the United States, gave an interview highlighting the United States tax as an example of redistributive policy to tackle inequality. In response, the BJP, led by Prime Minister Modi, said that the comments are evidence of the opposition's plans to rob the middle class. In election rallies stretching from Rajasthan to West Bengal, Prime Minister Modi had alleged the Congress party will take wealth away from those who have it and give it to their support base of minority groups, which include some of the country's lowest castes and tribes. On Thursday, Prime Minister Modi said at a rally in Uttar Pradesh that Congress would take away 55% of an individual's wealth after the death of their parents and grandparents.
आपके पैसों को उनकी वोट बैंक को मजबूत करने के लिए उनमें खैरात कर दिया जाएगा। भाइयों बहनों, क्या आपकी कमाई हुई पूंजी किसी को लूटने देंगे? क्या आप लेने देंगे? क्या
Now on Friday, India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman also weighed in. Nirmala Sitharaman said that an inheritance tax directly hits the middle class or the aspirational class. She highlighted how these are the groups that work hard and the sweat and toil of theirs is saved in small savings here and there.
Targeting people who are wealth creators for this country. They work hard, they create money, they create value, they employ people. So this is a clear ploy that they'll safeguard their own interests. But I'm sorry, people of India will have to keep giving away the earnings from their sweat and toil. Absolutely convoluted. And this cannot be supported.
While many countries, including the United States, UK, Japan and others, impose taxes on inheritance, there is no such tax in India. Inheritance taxes were abolished in India back in 1985 by a Congress-led government at the time, under former PM Rajiv Gandhi. The Congress national government had removed estate duty, which was a form of levy that was imposed on inherited, movable and immovable assets. Prime Minister Modi alleged that Rajiv Gandhi abolished the tax after his mother and ex-Prime Minister Indira Gandhi passed away to save her wealth from going to the government. Prime Minister Modi said that the Gandhi family benefited from the abolition of the estate duty. Now, it wants to bring back the levy. But what does Congress have to say about these allegations? In the immediate aftermath, the Congress party distanced itself from Sam Pitroda's comments, saying that he was speaking in his personal capacity and not giving the party's official view. The Congress has denied the BJP's allegations. They say Prime Minister Modi and his Bharatiya Janata Party are misstating pledges made in the manifesto. So what does the Congress manifesto state? It pledges to undertake a comprehensive survey to determine the socio-economic conditions of lower caste groups and strengthen its affirmative action policy. It does not mention wealth distribution or inheritance tax. But political arm wrestling aside, can any government take over private property in India? On Wednesday, the Supreme Court of India took up the debate in a hearing on interpretation of wealth distribution, particularly when talking about private property and its relation to common good. A 9-judge bench led by Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud took up at least 16 petitions in court. The Apex Court of India said that it will not adhere to a 1977 case that gave a Marxian interpretation of wealth distribution. What was the Supreme Court talking about? Now, the case before the Supreme Court dates back to 1986 when the Maharashtra government tweaked Housing and Area Development Act, allowing Mumbai's Repair and Reconstruction Board to acquire certain cess properties for restoration purposes with the consent of 70% of the residents. The amendment cited had Article 39, Section B of the Constitution that says the ownership and control of the material resources of the community are so distributed as best to subserve the common good. Landowners challenged the amendment. They said it gave untethered power to the board to forcibly take over residential complexes. After years of hearings at different levels, the matter reached the Supreme Court last year. That's the matter that was heard on Wednesday. The key question before the court was, can the government take over private property? The Maharashtra government had cited Article 39 Section B and Article 31 Section C of the Indian Constitution. Both are what is known as directive principles of state policy. These are principles fundamental for governance of the country. These are not justiciable, meaning they are not subject to trial in a court. Hearing the matter on Wednesday, the Chief Justice of India cautioned against going as far as the Marxist interpretation of wealth distribution. Now, what does the Marxist view state? Everything belongs to the state and the community. What is the capitalist view? It stresses the importance of individual rights. Well, in India, there is a Gandhian view. It justifies holding of resources in trust in order to protect intergenerational equity. While that hearing remained inconclusive and will continue next week, inheritance and wealth distribution have taken center stage in India. As for why this has become such a big issue, here's what you should know. In Indian culture, inheritance carries massive significance, especially in marriage, where women are often gifted gold jewelry. Land and property are also prized and passed through families from one generation to the next. While inheritance tax has been debated for over a decade, economists say that it's not necessarily appropriate in a country like India, where per capita income levels are already low. Economists say that it may discourage wealth growth. Sudhir Kapadia, a tax expert at EY India, told news outlet Bloomberg that while it's a good thing that tax policy is being discussed in Indian politics, an inheritance tax wouldn't be suitable for India. It is levied in developed nations where the stock of wealth has reached a particular point. India is yet to reach that stage. For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.